The Ambassadors is a novel originally serialized in 1903, penned by American-British author Henry James. Initially featured in installments within the North American Review, the United States' inaugural literary journal, this work is often regarded as the zenith of James's later literary creations. As a dark comedy, the narrative unfolds through the perspective of Lewis Lambert Strether, embarking on a quest to locate Chad Newsome, the son of his affluent fiancée, the widowed Mrs. Newsome. Strether endeavors to integrate Chad into his life and family business, aligning with the desires of his prospective spouse. However, his efforts to restore her somewhat skewed vision of family life quickly veer off course. The tale commences as Strether embarks on a journey from Woollet, Massachusetts, to Paris. Initially, his mission appears to revolve around meeting Waymarsh, a former rival. Waymarsh, disillusioned with Europe, perceives it as a realm dominated by decadence and superficiality. During a stopover in England, Strether crosses paths with Marie Agostri, an outgoing American expatriate whose profound understanding of European culture and contemporary secular life captivates him. Agostri extends an offer to guide him through the city, an invitation he gladly accepts, appreciating the companionship of a woman not as domineering as his fiancée. As the story unfolds, Strether confides that his true purpose is to locate his fiancée's son, Chad, and persuade him to take charge of the business that has brought wealth to his mother. Mrs. Newsome suspects that Chad has been gallivanting across Europe, indulging in a debauched underground culture. Although Strether harbors mixed feelings about his impending marriage, he remains financially reliant on Mrs. Newsome, which compels him to carry out her wishes. Strether's quest ultimately leads him to Chad, hidden in the depths of Paris. Upon their reunion, he is profoundly struck by the disparity between the morally questionable Chad he had envisioned and the genuine version before him. This real Chad bears a striking resemblance to Marie Agostri in his sociable nature and affinity for metropolitan life and the arts. Chad's profound affection for Paris prompts Strether to re-evaluate his own life's trajectory. He makes a resolute decision to delve deeper into this self-exploration, postponing his return to his Massachusetts home. As he roams the city's streets, Strether encounters Marie de Vionnet, who happens to be one of Chad's closest associates, despite a significant age difference. This circumstance leads Strether to ponder whether Chad has a penchant for older women. Alternatively, he contemplates whether Chad might actually be courting Marie's daughter, Jean. However, with time, the haze of presumptions surrounding Paris and Chad's lifestyle dissipates, unveiling a young man who is inherently virtuous and principled. Strether arrives at the conclusion that Chad possesses a depth and vitality unmatched by anyone he knows in the United States. Simultaneously, Strether's growing attraction to Marie prompts him to question the authenticity of his affection for Mrs. Newsome. After several weeks, Mrs. Newsome, exasperated by Strether's prolonged stay, arranges for Chad's sister, Sarah Pocock, and her husband, along with her sister-in-law, to journey to Paris and assess the situation involving her brother. Anxious and hopeful, Strether anticipates that Sarah will discern the truth about Chad and agree that there is no need to uproot him from his content life. Regrettably, his hopes are swiftly dashed. Sarah proves to be exceedingly conservative and adamantly convinced that Chad's relocation to Paris constitutes a moral transgression, betraying the Newsome family's values. She goes further, accusing Marie of promiscuity and rejecting Chad's other friends. Sarah issues an ultimatum to Strether, demanding an immediate return with Chad or else a severed relationship with the Newsome family. Faced with this ultimatum, Strether elects to remain in Paris and ends his engagement with Mrs. Newsome. Believing that his familial troubles have come to an end, Strether embarks on a new chapter in his life within the vibrant city of Paris. However, during one of his excursions in the countryside surrounding the city, he spies Marie de Vionnet entering an inn with Chad. Upon realizing that Chad had been concealing a deeper, romantic connection with Marie, Strether begins to question what other deceptions he might have been unwittingly entangled in. However, rather than delving into further suspicions, he turns introspective, recognizing that the alluring but illusory nature of Paris had beckoned him to break free from his past. As the novel draws to a close, Strether resolves to return to the United States, firmly believing that his essential nature remains unaltered and cannot be reshaped to conform to the French social and moral milieu. Now severed from both Paris and the Newsome family, he looks ahead to crafting a more genuine existence in the place he calls home. Just before his departure, he unexpectedly encounters Marie Agostri, who openly declares her love for him. Despite her invitation to live with her, he declines and bids farewell to Europe. The Ambassadors encapsulates James's ironic perspective on the notion of a multicultural identity, suggesting that the idealized other place is perpetually a mirage. Nevertheless, he implies that immersion in new environments can kindle a rebirth of the self, exemplified by Strether's decision to return to America on his own, more authentic terms, and sever ties with a dissatisfying and conventional past. I hope you enjoyed this video. Leave a like if you did and be sure to subscribe. Thank you.